I think for us, it all starts defensively. It's how aggressive we are at the point. It's from the jump of the game. And honestly, going kind of back to your question.
It's a packed house inside the United Center, buzzing with anticipation as the Indiana Fever step onto the floor to take on the Chicago Sky. This WNBA 2025 clash carries weight, both teams eyeing momentum as the second half of the season unfolds. The absence of Caitlin Clark for Indiana adds another wrinkle, and you can feel the tension and opportunity in the air. The smoke from pregame pyrotechnics still lingers in the rafters, adding a surreal haze over what's about to become a gritty, physical battle. From the opening tip, both teams are feeling each other out, testing the paint, testing each other's physicality. It's a matchup steeped in history and chemistry. When Aaliyah Boston goes head-to-head with her former South Carolina teammate Kamilla Cardoso, it's not just basketball, it's personal. These two know each other's moves inside and out, and it shows immediately. Boston tries to take Cardoso in the low post, but Cardoso isn't having it. She swats the shot clean, message sent early. Back the other way, it's Sophie Cunningham. Launching from deep hand, it's good. She's been on a hot streak lately, and she picks up right where she left off. Cunningham has now hit 8 of her last 13 attempts from beyond the arc across the past 2 games. Her confidence is visible in every release, every celebration, and her spacing gives Indiana the stretch threat they need with Clark sidelined. The Sky come right back. Kia Nurse drives, drawing in defenders, and slips a smart dish to Elizabeth Williams. The finish doesn't fall, but Cardoso keeps the play alive momentarily before Indiana recovers. It's Ari McDonald who snatches the loose ball, taking it coast to coast. That energy, that burst is what Indiana has relied on to carry them through Clark's absence. On the next possession, McDonald weaves through 2 defenders before finding Nolissa Smith. Smith kicks it out, and there's Howard creeping baseline, shimmying into the paint. But she gets called for steps, another turnover for Indiana, and that's something they've been trying to clean up. The back and forth continues. This isn't a shootout, it's a grinded-out game, a tug-of-war in every possession. Banham connects from deep, draining a clean look that keeps the Sky within striking distance. The crowd roars, sensing the moment shift. Despite the fog in the building from pregame smoke, the Sky shooters can still see the rim just fine. Indiana pushes back. Boston picks off a lazy pass, sparks a fast break, and tries to feed Cunningham. Pass gets deflected, but Rebecca Allen is a bit too aggressive trying to recover. The whistle blows foul on the Sky. Moments later, Kelsey Mitchell reminds everyone why she's still the engine of Indiana's offense. From the top of the arc bang, away ball straight through the net. Mitchell's confidence is unwavering, and with Caitlin Clark out, she knows the responsibility is hers. She's been asked to carry the scoring load, and she's showing she's more than ready. Cardoso runs the floor like a true modern center. She outruns the defense, gets position, and elevates, but Boston recovers just in time to meter it, the rim blocked. The battle between Cardoso and Boston is officially underway. That's twice now they've gone at each other, and both have come up with huge defensive moments. These are the kinds of matchups fans dream about, 2 elite post players, former teammates, both refusing to give an inch. The game's pace picks up. Howard makes a sharp cut into the lane and feeds Cunningham, who could have gone up for the easy layup, but instead passes it back out. Unselfish ball movement sets up a wide-open 3 for Mitchell. Splash, second 3 of the quarter. For Kelsey Mitchell, and Indiana's offense is starting to hum, but Chicago isn't going away. Cardoso finds Allen, who dumps it to Williams. Strong post position, quick hook, bucket. The Sky break Indiana's 8-0 run with that finish. And they're showing signs of rhythm despite being shorthanded. Angel, Reese, and other key players are still sidelined, but the Sky are scrappy, resilient, and unwilling to fold. McDonald keeps pushing pace for Indiana. She flings a pass out to Howard, who floats in for a runner just short. Kia Nurse skies for the rebound and is off to the races. In transition, she dishes it back to Cardoso, who battles her way inside. First attempt is no good, but she stays with it, muscles through contact, and gets it to go on the second effort. That's the kind of persistence that coaches love to see. Cardoso is doing the dirty work and making it count. Next trip down, Mitchell fires a laser cross-court to Cunningham. Wide open fires, in and out. But you can feel the confidence this Fever team is playing with. The ball movement is crisp, and everyone's touching the rock. That rhythm makes them dangerous. Chicago answers again. Nurse isolates, steps back, and nails the mid-range jumper with Boston closing in. Mitchell and Boston both sagged slightly on the action, giving Nurse just enough room to make them pay. The Sky have found their groove, smoke in the arena. Doesn't faze them, they're heating up. Still, Mitchell keeps Indiana steady. Dribbling into the lane, weaving through defenders, she somehow gets the floater to fall. It's the kind of shot that only Mitchell can make look easy. She's not just scoring, she's directing traffic. It's controlling tempo, being the voice and heartbeat of this Fever team. But as the quarter winds down, fatigue starts to show. A loose. Foul up top gives Chicago the ball back. Indiana head coach shouts encouragement from the sideline. She doesn't want her team to get passive. No hesitation. Stay aggressive. Stay locked in. Then a turnover. Double dribble. Another wasted possession for Indiana, and Chicago is right there, ready to pounce on any mistake. The Sky have hung around, and as we near the break, this game is still anybody's to take. So far, the key storyline is clear, with Caitlin Clark. Out, Indiana isn't just surviving, they're evolving. Kelsey Mitchell has stepped into full leadership mode, while Boston continues to set the tone inside. And on the other side, Chicago, despite missing Angel Reese, despite a thin rotation, is refusing to roll over, with Banham firing threes, Nurse hitting tough jumpers, Cardoso battling down low. The Sky have earned their place in this fight. And this is just the beginning. With the intensity's rising, the matchups are getting testy, and both teams know what's at stake. The second half promises fireworks. But despite Indiana's growing control, the Aces weren't completely out of the picture. Yet their undoing came from something that championship teams can't afford to lose: ball security. Vegas turned the ball over 14 times, many of them unforced or stemming from poor reads under pressure. Each miscue handed Indiana momentum, and the Fever knew exactly how to capitalize. Beyond Keir Martin, the Aces' bench contributions were virtually non-existent. Players not named Martin combined for just 5 points, shooting a dreadful 13.3% from beyond the arc. When Indiana upped the intensity on the glass, boxing out with intent, swarming second-chance rebounds, the Aces had no counterpunch. Vegas, a team built on pace, versatility, and star power, looked flat when forced to play a half-court grind. Their primary offensive engine, A'ja Wilson, continued to draw doubles. But without movement off the ball or efficient spacing, possessions stalled. When Indiana closed down the lanes and forced Vegas into late clock isolations, the rhythm collapsed. Looking forward, the Las Vegas coaching staff faces clear mandates. First, they must refine ball screen decision-making, particularly in the high pick and roll. Opponents are now hedging aggressively, daring Vegas guards to thread perfect passes or force shots under pressure. To beat that, the Aces should introduce elevator screens and dribble handoff slip actions, especially to free up Wilson for early clock touches. Quick slip off the screen before help rotates can generate clean looks and break traps before they form. Defensively, Vegas must fortify their drop coverage schemes. Indiana picked apart lazy hedges with backdoor cuts and wing skips. The Fever's ability to exploit small windows with quick releases exposed weaknesses in the Aces' help rotations. Expect the Vegas coaching room this week to be filled with film of split-screen coverage, weak side miscommunication, and sluggish closeouts. Defensive practices will be grueling. Coaches will hammer home live-action pick-and-roll rotations, teaching players to stunt too hard the ball and recover under 2 seconds. The margin for error is razor-thin in the WNBA. A slow recovery gives up an open three, a late rotation gives a layup. Drills will now focus on on-ball pressure, combined with crisp switching cues to counter dynamic offenses like Indiana's. Offensively, it's all about early momentum. Elevator screens for Wilson, handoff slips for Jackie Young. Quick Princeton-style backdoor cuts can help the Aces reclaim their identity. When Vegas is unpredictable, when they cut, move, and pass with urgency, they're nearly impossible to defend. But when static, they become mortal. Chelsea Gray will be a pivotal piece of that puzzle. Though she had just 4 assists in this game, her floor general instincts remain elite. Expect future sets to rotate through Horn's actions and elbow isolations. Using Gray's vision to dissect mismatches and flow into multiple options, getting her going early will be critical in preventing another collapse against playoff-caliber defenses. Meanwhile, the Aces bench needs trust, and that only comes with time and touches. Expect Aaliyah and Martin to get more run in the final stretch of the season. Scrimmages will focus on cycling these second-unit players through real game. Actions, not just junk time sets, allowing them to read and react within the offense, rather than watching from the corner. For the Aces to compete deep in the playoffs, their bench must become an asset, not a liability. And with the postseason looming, Vegas will lean heavily into data-driven fatigue management. A'ja Wilson has played heavy minutes in back-to-back games. Coaches will now deploy strategic timeouts, staggered rest patterns, and potentially even scheduled DNPs for load management to preserve peak performance for the postseason crucible. But let's not let Vegas struggles overshadow what Indiana just accomplished. The Fever's 80-70 victory was about more than just a win. It was a showcase of a team embracing identity, adapting on the fly and imposing its will on both ends of the floor. It was a win rooted in resilience, shaped by physicality, and delivered by unity. As Kelsey Mitchell, cool, confident, and composed, was the engine throughout. Her ability to rise up off the dribble, create off the bounce, and make the right pass when double-teamed was instrumental. Natasha Howard's two-way dominance and Boston's soft hands in the paint brought it all together. But what really told the story was Indiana's commitment to the little things: closeouts, rotations, boxing out, and communication. After the game, Mitchell said it best: "Our defense ignited our offense. Every closeout, every switch, every scramble, we committed to it, and that turned the game." Analyst Cheryl Reeve didn't mince words during the post-game wrap-up. That was a masterclass in mid-game adjustment. Indiana read the flow, adapted their schemes, and executed with postseason-level urgency. That's the kind of effort that turns belief into a championship run. For the Fever, this was a blueprint game. It's not just how to beat a top-tier team, but how to own their identity. Their spacing, transition offense, and defensive flexibility have matured. Their stars are trusting the system, their role players are stepping up. They're doing it with swagger. The big question now as both teams look toward the playoffs is this: will the postseason belong to Indiana's defensive adaptability, depth, and discipline? Or will Las Vegas rediscover its star-powered dominance and rewrite the narrative? Under the brightest lights, no matter how it plays out, we're in for a wild ride.